I am super excited about this time. We have another guest on. I think I mentioned a little bit last podcast that we'd have another guest, and I am super excited about this guest.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hope you are.
It was actually really exciting coming here. So I live an hour away from Preston, and you get to see a whole bunch of mountains just coming through, and I was just amazed at the mountains, and it's just especially a super clear day.
Yeah.
But
it's a beautiful day outside today. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe doing some things afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah, no, this will be really fun. So this is Cade. There's a decent amount of listeners that already know who Cade is.
Oh, yeah, not quite like Tristan. Not quite.
No, because Tristan's super popular.
Yeah.
No, you have your fair share of popularity. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Anyway.
Maybe.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
All the girls flock to him, so.
No, not necessarily. I will have to say, I am pretty confident that there is at least one girl listening just because of you.
Oh.
So.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
hopefully there's
Cade does
one.
have a girlfriend, so he's taken all of those that are already interested. I know by his looks.
Oh, please.
For who he is.
Please.
Especially after him talking about our topic. I know everybody's going to want him, but he is taken, so.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Anyway. So.
But you aren't.
I'm not yet. No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
See?
Thanks,
there
Cade.
we go.
No. So, no, I am super excited about this time. So, yeah, Cade is our special guest, and I really wanted Cade on, and he has a topic he's always wanted to talk about, which I'm super excited about. This is probably one of the most excited I am about one. I've been excited about several other topics, but this one's especially at our ages, any age, but especially at our ages, is such an important thing to talk about, discuss, and
it needs to definitely be discussed.
It does.
And yeah, you'll probably see why it does need to be discussed. But especially, it's more powerful for us with our ages, and then what we are going to go into as far as life, and then for the little generation coming into,
yes,
they need to hear this topic as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is super important, something that I love hearing. So we're talking about masculinity, and yeah, we're gonna go probably multiple different areas within that category. But I love hearing older people talk about it just from wisdom and past, and okay, this is what you do, which I think is really important. But I also really like I'm not gonna lift us up in any way, but I really do enjoy hearing actually people walking through okay, I am still in a way figuring out truly what that looks like and how I'm gonna live that out, being a guy, being a man in this world.
Yeah.
Where I feel like there are so few actual true men.
Right.
And so it's I've listened to other people on podcasts or even just friends talk about it, and it's just oh, it's so good. I don't want to disregard. It's so important to have older people speaking into our lives.
Oh, totally.
But that's why I'm so excited having you on and for us to be able to discuss this. So especially coming from Cade, because a dating man, it's important to hear what masculinity.
Please.
Coming from a guy that's dating, because I need to learn a lot.
Oh, actually, you have spoke a lot to me and what I've gotten to learn out. He does have a lot of input, guys. So I learn a lot from him. So
anyway, I was gonna say something else, but I guess real quickly, kind of briefly, Cade is a really good friend of mine.
Yes.
Don't know if it's
great friend of Preston too.
But no, he is a really good friend of mine. It's been actually a little more last couple years that we've been good friends. But it's one of those friendships, I don't know, it's kind of just took off and really hit hard. So
it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I got to know Cade, Tristan kind of just dropped off the edge. I'm wow, he's
right.
No, I'm kidding. I can say, okay, that was something else I was going to mention. This is one of my first guests I've had 3 guests. So this is the first guest I think of that has actually listened to one of my episodes.
Really?
Harrison had not listened to an episode, and Kean had not. He'd maybe listened to a part of one.
Wow.
But you've listened to almost all,
yep.
haven't you, I think?
I haven't listened to the last one yet. I don't even know the title.
It just came out yesterday. So that is very understandable. But
Yep.
So this is I'm excited. You can actually he kind of knows what he's
be a witness here
a little bit. But no, we've been really good friends, and yeah, I think at some point I talked to you about like what would you want to talk about just briefly, and you're like masculinity. I'm like, that'd be perfect. Like I want somebody like I've wanted to talk about this topic, and I want somebody that's excited about it. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, why are you excited about it? I guess like what's made it passionate in your life? Masculinity.
Oh, so I've been super excited for one is I listened to a podcasting group called Family Life today, and there's one guy on. He's my favorite speaker. His name is Brant Hansen, and his heart and his thrive for men is to know what they need to do in today's world, and what a biblical view of masculinity looks like. And I was just randomly scrolling through Family Life one day, and I was just like scrolling. I was like, oh, this looks like an interesting thing. So I clicked on it, and before long, I listened to like 4 of his podcasts, and I was like, everything is so true. Because for me, before I listened to him, I really didn't know what it was. I mean,
yeah,
I knew like maybe like a little bit, but
yeah,
how he defined it and he said it, it was life changing. It was powerful, and yeah, I can see like the vision, but like clearly for the younger generation coming up, the vision just isn't there.
Yeah,
And they just need to know. Like, for instance, I was talking to a couple of my friends saying, I'm going to be doing a podcast on masculinity. And the one guy is like, dude, how cool. Are you going to talk about people who are going to be buff and how can get buff and stay at the gym? I'm like, no, that's not how it is. And the other guy was like, well, I thought masculinity was all about being buff and who you are and your role in that. And I was just blown away by it. But then I looked it up. If you go and look up what masculinity is, it's like being buff.
It's like the actual definition?
Well, I don't know. That's what they told me.
Okay.
But
interesting.
I know. I was just blown away by that. And I feel like that's what the world defines.
Yeah.
And so, like, for instance, I look at the world and it's like the men today are like, let's just be buff, let's drive super jacked up trucks, get cool tats, and just be a man. That's like the thing. Be a man. Go hunting, go fishing, whatever. But like God designed different men to do different things. Like for me, instance, I drive a 20-year-old grandma car that leaks oil.
I love it.
And your truck rusts. Yeah. It's rusty. And it's like, different guys have different things. But we all need to have the same vision. And that's not the vision just to be all buff, because different guys just can't be that way.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, and that's not, I mean, okay, this is my personal opinion, but that's, I would say like you were saying, the worldview, that is masculinity, but that's not truly satisfying or what we need. That's not substantial. That's not what God calls us to be.
Right.
As far as masculine.
And it's so selfish of looking at it that way. Right. Because it's all about me and not about others.
Yeah. Which is not the mindset of masculinity.
Right.
Like, that's the opposite. We're gonna, well, at least I probably will a couple times. I know he will. I will shout out Brant Hansen. He has several books he's written, and he also has a couple podcasts. I know he's spoken a lot of podcasts too. I would highly recommend listening to his stuff or reading, especially his book, The Men We Need. That was so powerful. So if there's guys out there like, I'm just want to give a shout out to him. But I would have to mention in The Men We Need, he one of his, I think, first chapters, he literally talks about himself as like, he's like, he was not that football player, that buff hunter, outdoorsman, like he was kind of, I think, kind of a geeky a little bit, just like the most of what you would think as the world would define, like not a masculine guy, like, oh, he's that kind of wimp thing. Yep. And after reading his book and just knowing who he is, he's one of the most masculine guys out there.
Yeah, he's like a great role model to look at that.
He's a walking, what God calls, in a way, a walking example of a masculine.
Exactly.
Even though he's not out there pumping iron
Yeah,
or driving a jacked up truck.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's what something like I respect. Like, okay.
He probably drives a Prius for all we know.
Probably something like that. Yeah, minivan for his kids.
Yeah.
No, they're married now. But no, but that is something like we have to be careful about, like, okay, because you can almost get pride with like driving a vehicle like you have. Because like, see, like, I don't have a nice vehicle. Like, I'm willing, but you can almost get pride the exact way. But like, it's a lot harder to be prideful about a torn up vehicle. But like, I do respect that, and that's not. I feel like that's what the world looks is like. It's so easy for, especially guys, between guys on guys. It's like, oh, I've gotta have a vehicle, or even like in the dating realm. Like, I know it's so easy for guys. I'm like, I've got to look buff, and I know some girls like that. But I've talked to a lot of, especially Christian girls, and I'm like, I don't care how many muscles you have.
No,
like,
they don't.
I could have this beef guy over here, and I could have this guy who has never worked out and looks scrawny, but like, he's what I want because of how he's living his life. And I don't know, and that's why I want to talk about masculinity, and I guess
exactly
stepping through that. But yeah, I don't know, I'm super excited. How would you personally define masculinity, like in your own thought process? Because I would look it up. I'm just out of curiosity. I would look up technical, but while I'm looking it up, like, what is your personal thought of definition, like, in your mind of masculinity?
So a man who, when he's around others, the people that are around him are secure. He makes them feel protected, feel secure, and people need that because today's world, people are so insecure in who they are, and there was nobody there that they could feel secure around. Yeah. And so they look to ideas like, you know what, like now men want to be women because they feel like women are secure in who they are. Well, that's not the case.
Yeah. And
everything goes up to where we need men to stand up in life because, I mean, I just think about in Adam, back when God made him to be the keeper of the garden, to create and make all the names for the animals, to give him job, and then also to be with, I guess, be with Eve, but like also keeping a communication with him, with the Lord, but yet losing my thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, and that makes sense. Like, Adam, I think, is a really easy example to go back to and look at, like, okay, what exactly is God calling us? Like, as a leader, as a man, that, like, as being a man, that's part of our journey in, I guess, masculinity, of taking charge, taking leadership. That's like, he set that literally with Adam right off, of like, okay, you're a leader. Yeah.
And clearly he did not do his role well, and the world is still suffering because he did not do his role well. Yeah. And because he was being passive. And there's so many times to where I want to be passive, guys want to be passive, and where standing up, it just doesn't happen. Because maybe, for instance, they don't want to because other things are more important. Or a lot of scenarios is like, they don't know how. And it just needs to be talked through and performed even in today's world. Yeah,
I would agree. That's why. So I want to be very careful saying this, but there are seriously, I've got to be really careful saying this, but I feel like it's even getting harder, partially because of, like, feminist movement. And I'm not saying I'm against feminist movement at all. Like, I want to be very careful because, like, I want to respect women, and they are so precious. Yeah. And, like, they need to be heard. But I want to be careful because, in a way, it makes it really easy now for guys just to not actually stand up where they need to stand up.
Oh, exactly.
And making it harder even for girls to live out the place that she lives, because now it's like, wait, no, like I would normally take charge here, but like we've got women's rights, like they need their opportunity.
Yeah.
It makes it easiest for us to have an out.
Oh, exactly.
And so it's like, well, but that's not what God's calling us. Like, yes, we need to love women, but that's part of our taking charge. It's because we love them, we care for them, we're protecting them.
Totally.
I don't want to speak against women because they are so important in their lives. Like,
totally.
Well,
so
you made the comment over here that we need women, or I guess we both did.
We do. But like I was talking to him earlier, it's like him and we are horrible at planning things.
Horrible.
And you made a comment like, "Man, we both need wives," and I was like, "Yeah, it's not good for a man to be alone." But I mean, there's other scenarios too. But
not just planning, but it does. They do help in that.
They can also come in when we aren't lacking, but they can't do it long term. It's like you're putting a 50-pound backpack on top of their load, what they already have, but they can't do it for long. And to where it's like when we stand up, we're taking the whole load off of them.
Right.
And I feel like when we're called out and who we're supposed to be, to protect people and to serve. It takes it to a whole nother level, because for one thing, women flourish, they thrive, especially, I'm going to go for a relationship sense, but they just thrive because they know their man is standing up, and to where it's almost easier for them to do their roles as well.
Yeah, right. Well, because they don't have to focus on making the hard decisions of a family. I mean, obviously, when you get married and you become one, like you're both in it together. But like when it really comes down to the hard thing, it's the guy that steps in and does that. Or when it's like they're in like maybe a physically scary situation. Yeah. She don't even have to question who's like. Yeah. With a guy living his role, she don't have to worry about that. All she's worried about is like, okay, how am I like doing her motherly roles, like taking care of the kids, or like obviously. A guy's supposed to do that too. That's part of his role. But she can focus on that and give it her all. But when she's stretched thin, then the kids start suffering from that, because now the mom's not where she's at because the husband's not where he's at. Or like exactly. It affects multiple tiers of things down the road. And that's why I'm saying, like, even I did a research in some preparation of how many like broken families there are. And it is outrageous. And part of me just gets like almost mad at the guys, like our generation. I'm mad at our generation. Like I was just talking to my mom the other day about it. I'm like talking about how I'm just like so frustrated in one sense with girls, with certain reasons, and then I'm just like, but then she like talked it through, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it's partially because of guys' fault, because we're not being the guys we're supposed to be. So I'm like, I blame my generation. I blame me in a sense. Like I'm still learning. I've made mistakes, plenty of them. But in one sense too, yes, we're to blame, but also this is still coming from previous generations. Right. Because what they do affects your kids and what we, and so we're like, this speaks to everybody. This speaks to fathers even from past generations, because in one sense, this is why we're at where we're at. Because if they were all truly being the men they were supposed to be and being with their kids where they're at, they could teach them masculinity. So it affects more than even just us or even our wives. Oh, totally. Or our friends or around us. It affects multiple generations. We're making a difference down the road. You can see it. You can see how it's went down. Real quickly, I said it was going to be the definition. I had it pulled up. I think this is partially you were even saying qualities or attributes regarded as a characteristic of men or boys, which makes sense. I think where it goes wrong is under a subtitle is like handsome, muscled, driven. He's a prime example of masculinity. Yeah. Which makes it put it into like physical features or like
totally not.
Yeah, I'm like, like you hear the stories of like some of the most godly men who like have no arms, no legs, or like had their face blown off or something. Like they're one of the ugliest guys out there. But in one sense, girls are attracted to him. Yep. Because how he's living his life, and that's how God's created it. Yeah. That's how God actually created a woman. Like, now I know there are certain women attracted to handsome features, but that's only thing because of the generations of where now they're looking for their own thing.
Totally. And I was just going to point out with that, because I think of like, the show The Bachelor? Yeah. Stupidest show, I believe. because it just it just shows out all the guys that are like buff and like whatever,
right,
ripped, and I'm like, dude, it's like they'd never want to pick me. I mean, it's like.
But it's just pushing the generation wrong because that's what they're striving for. They're striving for looks. They're striving for like, oh, he can do this. Oh, he can do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, he owns guns. He can shoot. Oh, like he's gonna protect me.
Right.
But like, it's making people want the wrong things, mm-hmm. and that's not gonna. That's then why it leads to so much divorce or even zero marriage, just living together because it's like, and then they end up living with someone else and then someone else because it's like you're going for the wrong thing. So of course you can become discontent because. Eventually, you're going to turn ugly, or eventually he's going to lose his muscles or get damaged and can't walk the rest of his life. Well, then why did he pick the fastest runner when he can't walk the rest of his life?
Right.
Like, that's why you go for the heart and actually how a man's supposed to live.
And to go on with that, it's like if you're married, if you're attracted to a guy who had tons of muscles and you married him, and then you find himself at the gym 2 hours a day when you need him at home.
Right.
Pretty soon she's going to start feeling insecure because he's not there to be there for her, for the children, and just to stand up when there's a time to stand up. But yet he's at the gym,
right,
getting his muscles bigger, and who knows, he could be flirting with other women
like at the gym.
And to where it's like they don't even care about the muscles anymore. They just want someone they can look to, trust, and...
Oh, yeah, like ultimately the things that actually may have attracted her to him eventually become probably negatives.
Yep.
Because it's like...
Yep.
Yeah. There's now that doesn't really once you're married, once you have kids, now that's not matter. It doesn't matter how handsome he is.
No.
It matters how he takes care of his kids.
And leadership is the big point. Leadership is a big point.
It's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's why I've seen like so many or even heard like or even some personal families I know of, they're kind of just broken families, which are sad, even within the church and stuff, but are Christian families. And a lot of times, and this is something I also wanted to speak on a little bit, a lot of times like they're so broken and it's sad, and you see it affect the kids, and you see the kids struggling through it. And I all the time I'm like, it a lot of times come back to the guy. But I mean, we're going to probably be speaking more on the guy side of situations.
Right.
I would love for somebody to go on a podcast, or maybe I can have girl guests and I'll just listen and have them talk about virtues in a woman and stuff. But part of it too is there's such a role for a woman in a guy's life.
Yep.
And so just as much as a guy needs to step forward, be the leader, a woman needs to come behind him and support him.
Yep. Call him out.
And actually, yes. And that was one of my things. I was actually talking about relationships and dating, and I'll actually bring it up with my mom. Or my dad too, I think, talking about this topic. But I was talking about one of the things, which I think I've hardly mentioned to you, which we could talk about more later, but is a little bit of a slight frustration is so many girls, or it feels like I hear a lot of situations where like a guy will ask a girl and like get up the courage and find and ask her, and all she'll be is like, no, I'm not going to date you. And leaves it at that. And at least the guy kind of hurt or something. Or sometimes she'll maybe like go out on one date just to not hurt his feelings, and then just never, I'm like, okay, no, I won't date you anymore. And just leaves it at that.
Yeah.
And maybe she saw like, okay, he's not the man I want. Maybe he needs to grow spiritually. Maybe he just needs to be more of a gentleman and like literally just doing small things of opening the door or saying, and he did none of that. That's the case. I respect her for stepping away. But I think one of the big things, even if you're not married, is calling the guy out, because yes, it's going to hurt in the moment, but that's what we need. Like, it's amazing how much a girl can change a guy's life set. And so it would mean so much different is like, say I ask someone out and she's like, no, I'm sorry, I won't date you. I hope I could be at the place where I could ask them like, okay, well, why won't you? But if guys don't, like, I guess I would just encourage any girls listening, like, call them out as kindly as possible. Be like, well, I feel like you really need to grow spiritually. Like, you're a great guy. You've grown up in a Christian family, but like, I feel like you're kind of became lukewarm. You just use what you've grown up with. Like, call him out, because that's, if anything, going to help him push him further. Like, I do totally seek Christ.
Because when people call someone out, it could be like, you called me out and said, hey, Cade, you need to work in this area of your life.
Yeah.
Well, you saying that gives me a vision. And guys, when they have a vision to achieve, they want to go for it.
Right.
And that's just another thing of how we're wired is like, I mean, you hear of stories like for like little boys, just little boys. It's like when they get a little vision, they're going to make this Lego house. Well, they're going to do it, even if they have to rob the other dude's house
Right.
and
Like, they're gonna
smash
get
a
it
Lego
built.
in his face. I mean, it gets crazy, but.
Ouch. That wasn't pointed at all.
Well, no, it wasn't totally not, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, exactly. Because like I had to build my house, and I was protecting the guys who were robbing my banks. I was
no,
being,
and you had a
Tristan was being
vision.
masculine.
You had a vision. You were just gonna smash
No.
this dude.
Yeah. Right.
Uh,
But no, that's why I think it's so important. Is women is such an important. Like I'm not. Everybody's at fault here to an extent because I feel like in one sense, women need to be calling guys out too.
yep.
But I would be the first one to admit that we're at fault. Like
Yeah.
we're not being the men we need. We're not being the men we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, girls that are listening or anything like that, like don't be afraid to call a guy higher,
Yep.
especially if you're in a relationship, especially marriage. But like, and also encourage him. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
at least I know speaking from a guy, there is something. Even another guy pushing me through helps me so much. But
Yeah.
especially if you're dating a girl and like you want to impress her.
Yep.
And so it mean like it's just natural. But when she's like, man, Cade, like I would like say she sees something in your life, like maybe you have a vision for helping other guys who are dealing with masculinity. And you're like, I kind of want to do this, and she's like, yeah, you'd be so good at that, and she would encourage you. I'll push you so much farther. Like,
Right.
oh, I want to do that, and
Yeah.
then say you do a little bit, and she's like, I watched you work with this guy. Man, you really captured his attention. Like, you're really good at that. That's all the more the next time you're going to give it all the more like
Exactly.
percentage. So it is so
Exactly.
important for girls. I feel like where they can, you can make a difference too in guys, and that'll like, or even in leadership. Like you take charge in this situation. Maybe you like, at least for me, I'm not naturally just a super strong leader.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a challenge for me. But there's been situations where like I've kind of stepped out and like did something. Maybe I made a small failure or something. But they like a girl or something, or even another guy would be like, "Wow, you did good there."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you failed here, but you did really good here. And the next time I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do better in this area," and it made me more excited to like, okay, lead out in it.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
it's really hard when like, and I feel like family situations, or even like moms can do the same thing in encouraging your sons and stuff. But like, I feel like with broken families, it's like maybe a guy does finally reach out and try to lead or something, and the mom will only pick apart the things he's failed. And like,
Yeah.
well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and then he's like, well, I'm not going to try to step out again.
Right.
And
And just the negativity
broken. Yeah.
of everything. And I also want to make this point clear. I feel like as a stepping out and being a leader, don't be afraid to call the girls out too.
Yeah.
And that could be a little eye opening for even guys, because like, oh, they could be like the perfect angel, but like there's gonna be some things that's just like,
Yeah.
man, okay, it'd be kind of nice if you could work in this area of life.
Yeah.
And but I feel like for them,
So I need this right now.
yeah, but it's just like,
Yeah.
thank you for noticing. The qualities, they like start looking at the qualities that maybe they should improve for him, and it kind of goes both ways too.
right.
But I feel like for us, we need to
Yeah.
have more of the vision, leadership, and
Yeah.
I guess in more of a relationship situation, but even in like guy relationships too.
Right. Friendship, because that is huge too.
Yeah.
And that's important to surround you. I mean, the Bible talks about all throughout, like, a friend sticks closer than a brother, or like
yeah.
all different kinds of verses. That is important, especially there are areas even with like accountability and stuff where
yes.
another guy, even if she's your wife, she's
Mm-hmm.
still not going to a certain extent get certain things that a guy is going through
Right.
that another guy will. And keep you accountable in, or like encourage you in, and like, I understand that, I've been there, I know what you're going through, Cade, like I'm gonna help you. So that's important too.
Yeah.
It's like who you're surrounded with, call them out, have someone who's willing to call you out.
Yep.
As hard as it is.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So I had a question for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So why do you think God called out Adam?
A win
When he sinned.
to find him in the garden. That is an interesting question. This is just, obviously I haven't put much thought into this. This is off the top of my head, but like I would like probably previously reading it and thinking it through in the past, I would have said to give him an opportunity to like to prove himself in a way.
Yeah.
Like okay, yes, he failed. Yes, he sinned, but he's willing like because obviously God knows where Adam was. Like it wasn't like, "Oh, I can't find Adam."
Yeah.
But I feel like he was giving him an opportunity to step up and take leadership and like,
Oh yeah.
yes,
totally.
I failed. And I feel like Adam failed again in that area. Because finally, I think Adam stepped out, but God had to call and call.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he did step out, he blamed it on his wife.
And that's another thing of the lack of leadership is when you blame someone else for what maybe they did wrong. I mean, she did wrong too, but yet he was so passive. I actually wanted to read a verse. In Genesis 3, when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took and ate it. She gave also some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. He was literally right with her when she was eating, when she was getting deceived by the fruit. But yet she was doing all the work. He was just sitting there doing who knows what. But that's another sign of the passivity that he had. Is like he, for one thing, didn't stand up like what we've talked about. But then he also blamed her in the moment and didn't stand up and own up to his responsibility.
Right.
And I think that's when God was like, you know, man, I'm bummed. I'm just totally bummed about this. And
no, because
disappointed.
I mean, that is very interesting. Reading that verse, like he was with her, so he saw the whole thing unfold. Like he saw the snake speaking to Eve. Probably he was there the whole time.
Yeah,
he saw her deceiving her. Like, where's the guy? Where's the man that like?
Yeah, and I created to be a part of the garden and to take care of this wife that I given her. He's not doing his job.
No, he's not there. Like he lets her take the fruit, lets her eat it.
Yep.
He knows it's wrong, but he's not. And then she gives it to him, and he eats it. Like, where's the man when we need him? Like, and we've been suffering ever since. But like, it just it hurts because then then the next step they hide. And God calls out. Like, there's another point. Like, no, you did wrong, but still, if you could have stepped forward and been like. God, I'm sorry. Here we are. I sinned. I'm sorry. We took. I was not protecting Eve. She gave it to me. I took. I'm sorry. I'm to blame. But no, like he hid until finally God found him, and then he blames Eve, and then she blames that Sam, which is our natural tendency. Right. And like I would like to think that like I'm going to be different, but very likely it would have been the exact same thing. That's our natural flesh tendency. Totally. I don't know, but like that's why I'm not saying that like I'm perfect over here. I'm that's just our natural tendencies, but it's just like it shows you what we have to fight against.
Yep.
Because now we're all cursed with sin, and that's our natural tendencies that like we all are born into sin, and so now we've got to step up. And I think even now is all more the call to like those younger than us, like encourage them because, like, I don't know, I want to say it's whole like our generation is always harder than the last generation, but to an extent it is very challenging because. We're definitely the minority, I'd say. And I'm not saying I'm there. I've got a long ways to go. But I'm striving for Christian masculinity. I don't even say world masculinity. I'm striving for Christian masculinity. And I'm fighting against, in the same way, fighting against a huge flow of people who are like, that's not masculinity. Like, I'm looking for this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's like the vision that you have and that I have is just like being where you are and protecting people. And don't have to be always physical protection. It could always be like with your words because words mean a ton. Like sarcastic, no. And it's like even for like back to a husband-wife relationship, he could be amazing in everything, but with his words, she can still feel insecure.
Yeah.
And I know for me, a lot of it, I got to work in that area. But I think it's just like another thing is just not like for the visions. Like, Lord, I know I've struggled, but like I need your help. I need your wisdom, guidance, and help me to think before I speak.
Right.
And because that'll go a long way even for others. And that makes a difference, especially for the world.
Yeah. I like how my parents, it's kind of bunny trail, but I'll also get back to what I was going to say. I like how my parents have done it. Like they growing up, they taught me like treat my sisters like I will my future wife, or girlfriend or whatever the situation, which situation is. Treat my sister like that. They drove that into me. So it's like, you never hit your sisters. You never do this. The older I got, like,
That's
hey,
awesome.
go open her door for her, even though it's just like, or the store door, like, hey, like I remember like my dad a couple times, like we'd be walking to like just a restaurant, fast food restaurant, McDonald's or something, and dad would be kind of walking. He's like, hey, run up and open the door for Chantel. Like, just get it before her. Like, and I didn't do it enough. But, like, I know, just, there'd be once in a while, like, you do that, and he's like, see, this is what it is to be a man. Or sometimes dad would do it for mom. And just, like, this is what. But I guess, coming through that, like, I'm realizing how, even the older I've gotten, even with my sisters, or even, like, I have some really close friends that are girls or something. And, or even my cousin, or cousins, like, there's been, like, I'll make a comment or something, and I'll kind of see a look on their face. Not that it terribly hurt them, but kind of like a oof look. And I won't even hardly think about it as a guy. I'm just like, I just make a quick comment. It was kind of even a joke or something. And then it wasn't until like I'm coming home that evening or something that all of a sudden I'll be thinking of it. I'm like, oh, ouch. Like I'll start thinking of like probably how that affected her. And I even think about it. And then it's so easy to like...
Totally.
To make a quick, or even kind of you may even know it's a little bit hurtful, but it's like, it's not going to hurt that much. Like, it's truth. Maybe she needs to hear that. But, like, maybe it was when you told her in front of people, or, like, the way you went about it or something. Yeah. Like, it's so easy, and it's a lot harder to go backward once you've said it. I'm not saying that, like, it's obviously possible, but, like, it's a lot harder to, like, fix that than thinking twice and spending the time of, like, okay, how am I going to say this, or how is this going to affect her?
I like that.
But, yeah, I don't know. Another question I was going to ask you. So, this would be coming from, like, in a sense, I'm going to play kind of devil's advocate in a way. But, like, I'm coming from, a viewpoint of, say, I am, like, a guy that's just, like, I'm striving for masculinity. So, I've been going to the gym. I've been working out. I was kind of gifted with handsome looks. Yeah. So, it's not me. Yeah. This is another guy here. Gifted with handsome looks. Oh, come on. Muscular built beef. Yeah. Like the dream guy in a worldly masculine mindset.
Through like a girl, through a girl's eyes. Are you saying through like a girl's eyes?
Well, I'm saying, I guess, through like a worldly standpoint. Not a Christian masculinity mindset. Okay. Say he was coming to you and it's like, obviously you have a different viewpoint of masculinity. Why would, in one sense, it's a huge drive in our generation of, or our age group of, like, impressing a girl. And so, I guess, what is there to impress with a Christian viewpoint of masculinity? Because he's like, I'm striving, like, what's the benefits? What's the values in a Christian masculinity mindset?
So, for one thing, first thing, I'd be a little disappointed. Because he should have came to me earlier. No, before he spent all his money on his truck, guns, and
gym subscription.
Yeah, exactly. But
should have came earlier.
I feel like in another way, I would be super impressed that he'd come to me because he would also have a respect because he would see me stand up for something that was respectable. And he's like, man, there's something different in his qualities that I want to have, and how the people around him make him feel, or he makes them feel secure. Yeah. And to where I can't do that. So then that would probably be a reason why he would come and ask. Right. And I feel like that's where it's like intentionality, not being passive. And like, I'm also a blunt guy by nature. So like, I'll just share it. I'll just be like, so what's actually going on? And it's like, to where it's like, oh man, he's actually asking me this question. So like, maybe they almost feel like they need to share. Yeah. But in the long run, I feel like that's great because they're sharing, the vulnerability's high, and they can trust you. And you got to keep up the trust. Yeah. And can't let them down because I know for trust, when you break that, it takes a while for it to build back up.
To bring back up, yeah.
Yeah. That didn't answer your question.
Yeah. Well, no. That is really important.
I'm trying to think here. Can you expound a little
Yeah.
more?
Well, okay. Yeah. No, exactly. Like, for instance, you come at it from like a worldview standpoint, and if you'd ask, say, you're asking him,
Yeah.
he's like, well, of course a girl's gonna like me because I'm beef, I'm ripped. Like she needs lifted this for me, I'll lift it for her. If she needs this, if a guy comes to attack her, I'll toss him to the ground, type of deal. Like she's gonna like me. I'm handsome, so she's gonna like that. Like that's I think for a guy coming from that, I have a nice truck. She gets to ride around and kind of feel like that's that. Maybe he has a nice job. He's like I can provide for her financially. Like I've got it made. Like I am the world's view of masculinity.
Yep.
Any girl's gonna fall for me. That would be I think his mindset. So he's like that's why you should be like me. I feel like okay. So I guess I'm saying that, acting like I'm that guy. Like that's why you should be like for me. So I guess I'm asking like so. What's the best way to convince him to be more like you? And see, obviously, Christ is the most important.
Right.
But at this point, he's obviously probably not really seeking Christ. So he's like, well, why would I want to be, I don't know. Or maybe he's even a Christian guy, but he can't get past the fact that, like, but I really want to find a girl. And and if all I focus on is, like, there was someone that's made a comment to me before that wasn't really a Christian, one of my actual coworkers, and he made a comment before of like, if like, he's like the Bible because like he knew the Bible, he's familiar with it, but he just it's not, like certain things he's like I struggle with because especially being like a guy, he's like there's places that like, which there are places that literally God wept, Christ wept, or being passionate or loving and kind, and he's like that goes against like I need to be this mantra guy or this tough dude, and I feel like I'm lowering myself or like I'm exposing myself to it. And so in a sense, I feel like that almost looks like, okay, that's why you want to be a Christian masculine guy. So I guess that's the negative. So it's like, what's the positives from those? Like, why should we?
So I actually was thinking about this. I was going to bring this up. But in 1 Corinthians 13, chapter 7, I'm going to read that actually. It's talking about love. I'm going to bring this into a relationship scenario.
Perfect. I need to hear this.
I'm
ready.
So it's talking about love. Love does not delight in all evil, but rejoices in the truth. That's verse 6. Verse 7, it says, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. What was the first thing it said? Always protects. You think there's a reason why it's the first? Okay, let's go look at 1 Peter 3. In the same way, be submissive, wives. In the same way, be submissive to your husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won without words by the behavior of their wives. When they see the purity and the reverence of your lives and your beauty that do not come from the outward adornment. Okay, never mind. I gotta find this. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
This is Ephesians 5. I thought I had this down, but I didn't. Oh yeah, it says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. That love, back to the love in 1 Corinthians 13, is like always protects. That could be a lot different than just like physical protection. Because how often do we come into physical protection? Yeah. Not very much. But I feel like a protection for like abusive words, abusive things that you might get, gestures, sarcasm, certain things like that just would make her day go horrible. Yeah. But obviously I'm not a husband, so I'm like, I don't know what that looks like quite yet. Yeah. But yet you could also look at it from like, okay, someday I'm going to be one, or I hope to be one. But it's like, how can I have that vision now instead of like, oh man, I should have had this way back when, if you've been married for 2 or 3 or how many years, and you see that. Yeah. Right. And I also feel like, back to your question, for the guy coming to me, look for ways that you can serve. Because that will bring your humility up higher and yourself down. And when that's another way I feel like for guys, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Because we want to just be the macho guy that knows everything. Yeah. And beef and back to your crying, I feel like, because I cry a lot, especially in movies. Oh boy. But like, when people cry, it's like their outward expression of their emotion in the moment. And when you don't cry, or when you try not to cry, you're just stuffing everything down.
Right.
And us as men, we just shouldn't.
Right.
Because eventually it'll come out in angry, abusive words.
Right. We'll bottle it up, and then all of a sudden it's a bomb in a way. Yeah. No, God gave us emotions too. It's not like we're exempt from emotions. Now, I think there may be times God's made us different than women, that where maybe it is like a car crash. Maybe it's a situation where like she is a wreck.
Yep.
And where normally like, okay, any woman is going to be an absolute wreck. We might be able to hold it together.
Yeah.
Where she can't. And that's, I think God's given us almost the ability, or like in a situation where, say you're at home and a guy walks in with a gun, breaks in, like where she'll just fall to pieces and can't think straight. You guys might be able to stay calm and work through the situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think is a God-given ability, but we still do have emotions, and just because we let that, like, say that happens, that's a real thing. Like, don't bottle that up, especially if you do have a significant other somehow in your life. Like, that's not her. At least to the girls I've talked to, you showing emotions is not like, oh, that's not a man.
Right.
If anything, it's like he's willing to actually be true. He's being willing to be a true self. No, I 100% agree. Love is so important. That's one of the things, like, I feel like, speaking of coming from, like, the guy sense, like, yeah, loving, but, like, I need to protect. Like, if I, like, am a softie, it goes kind of against, like, I just need to be this macho man. But that's different. God calls us to love, and He's created us that actually does something else. That actually is so much more masculine. That ultimately, if you say you're striving to get a girl, like, that's going to pull her more. I'm not saying that's the goal, but if that is, it's going to be amazing how that affects them. Like, I think a couple of stories that Grant Hansen wrote in the book was like, which I've seen in real life situations where, like, a story's on or something about this guy who saved all these people or whatever, or an earthquake, like or a fire, he ran into the building, there's some random bystander, yanked the woman out, maybe he burnt himself and stuff, but like, that's a guy I want to date type of deal. But was it because he could have been some little tiny scrawny wimp of a dude, but
because he chose,
had the courage to go in, save somebody. That's a man. That's masculinity. And was that, depending on the situation, or a missionary, a guy who's willing to, we're all missionaries to an extent, but like, say a guy who's willing to give up everything, go out and, like, literally save some, like, orphans, or like, literally go out and, like, put aside an occupation, put aside a job or something, and go out and, like, in a way sacrifice. That's attractive. But because he is willing to set aside everything that he wants because to serve Christ. And it's like, that's, speaking as much as I can from a guy's standpoint, is going to be, like, more attractive than a guy who's constantly going to the gym 24/7 and working on his truck every other day. And that's not nearly, maybe that'll attract the girls, but that's not the girls that you're going to even want. And that's not a long-term satisfaction at all.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I feel like that we also, like, we got to be willing even when we're not willing. And I feel like for, like, back to the burning building scenario, when you go in there, back to girls. About 80% of the girls, they like men who are firefighters and cops, because they're willing to go protect the people who need saved, who need protected, and who can't do it on their own, and they're looking for a man to lead them, guide them. And so when
it's just a practical living example of what God created us to do. That's why they're like, oh, I'm attracted to that.
I heard of a story once that it was like him and his wife were sleeping, and they were woke by this huge ruckus outside. And of course she wakes up before he does, right? And so she nudges him, and she's like, you gotta go down and check him out. He's like, no, let's just turn up the noise machine higher. And so she gets out, goes down, and checks up what's going on. And he's just laying in bed saying, dude, what are you doing? This ain't what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the man and protect her. And so he walks downstairs and goes outside, and she's just standing out there. And he literally opens the door, makes his presence known, and everybody disperses. But it's like another way for and then he walks back inside, and she's like, yo, that was hot. And it's just like another way for calling him out. Now he wants to go down and disperse him so he can be called hot again. But it's like,
but I truly think it is like that's what we were created for. Mm-hmm. Like,
and she sees protection in that because for once he protected their home, and that's what men's supposed to do: protect homes and save lives, and not physically, but also spiritually as well.
Yeah,
and
be a leader and initiate, see that because then I don't know. I'm going to make a quick break here.
Yeah.
Cade, do you have an animal fact this time?
Oh, yikes.
Taking Tristan's place.
Yeah.
Just ask you on the spot.
Let me think. Yeah, so I had this one thing about sharks.
Okay.
That I guess everybody knows this, but if you rip the gills, if you grab their gills, they're literally helpless in the water. So if you want to defend them, or if you want to defend yourself against them, you try to grab their gills.
Really?
Yeah.
And it makes them defense. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, because they can't breathe at all without that.
True. And so then they can't hardly attack you.
If anything, they would try to jerk away and swim away, or
interesting.
Yeah, or just kind of just lay there helpless.
Stop.
Yeah.
We should try this.
No, I'm good. But
that is interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. So if you're in a shark attack, if you're a man who's trying to protect your woman or your kids,
just grab them gills.
Go ahead and just nod those gills.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny.
That is interesting. Wow. Well, animal fact, man. You about like Tristan. Except you probably didn't research that 5 years ago.
No, I think I read it like 5